action rose as a method to get rid of discrimination, be it due to race, sex, color, beliefs, and many others. But somewhere along the road, that technique seems to have strayed, while attempting to cure inequality. Not only has it lowered university and hiring standards and given chances to people who are less qualified according to their race, as discussed by the opening government, but it has done much more than that. This is why this House believes that affirmative action is counterproductive in reducing inequalities. First of all, affirmative action is, in itself, discriminating. It degrades the image of minorities in the eyes of society. Affirmative action judges minorities and believes that they are inferior to the rest, that these minorities, they need help. They wouldn't be able to reach anything without help from majority groups or the government. For example, colleges in North Carolina with African American students, these students claimed that professors always reached out to them trying to help, believing they always needed tutoring, assuming the students were underqualified, even though most of them weren't. And this is due to affirmative action because since they are letting people who are underqualified, they are judging people who are not and who do not need help. And they are diminishing their value. And due to affirmative action, we are spreading an image that minorities are less capable. We're making people who are just thinking normally take into consideration the race or the sex or the color of skin of the person in front of them to judge whether they're fit for a job or not. Whether in the truth, they should be actually judging their efforts, they should be judging their merits, their assets, and they should be able to treat everybody equally and think of everybody equally. But affirmative action has destroyed that. It makes someone think, oh, that's someone from a minority, I need to help them, because they probably wouldn't be here if I don't. The true road to equality is just not thinking about someone's race and just thinking about their merits and their efforts. This is why affirmative action in itself treats people differently. And it implants the idea that this is how things should be. People should be treated differently, completely differently, concerning their race. It increases inequality on the long term because people's beliefs are hard to change. You're implanting a belief that these people need help and they are not qualified. Second of all, affirmative action, even if it can get someone a job or get someone into university, and even though they would have the same job as someone else who is not from a minority, inequality is actually sure to follow. Whether that person acquired the job due to affirmative action or not, they would usually be assumed to have gotten the job due to affirmative action. This means that they are usually assumed to be completely underqualified and that they only got the job because they belong to a minority. This is why a minority member has to prove themselves capable and deserving of the job they got. And this means they have to work twice as hard to acquire a raise or a promotion because they are already believed not to be capable of doing the job in first hand. They have to work twice as hard. According to an analysis by Center for Talent Innovation, there are 12% African Americans in the USA. But in the senior leadership roles in the USA, the African Americans form only 3.2%. This means that even though they may get the job, advancing in that job is going to be a much bigger challenge than it would be for an equally qualified white person or Caucasian. According to this analysis, 65% of black employees said they think they have to work much harder to advance in comparison to only 15% of Caucasians. If colorblind applications disregarding color, ethnicity, sex were used, this would mean that everybody would be treated equally and they would be observed equally. They would only be observed due to their qualifications, their studies, their degrees. They would have to work the same effort to get the same privilege as everybody else. This is why applying affirmative action reinforces stereotypes about these people. It leads to unnoticed equality and even in the same job position as someone who is not a minority. In the end, affirmative action does the exact opposite of everything it claims to do. Instead of decreasing inequality, all it managed to do in the current situation is aggravate the problem. It has led to the formation of stereotypes where minority groups are viewed as extremely incapable and undeserving of the positions they end up getting. And they are observed to be in need of a crutch to help them survive. That is affirmative action. On the other hand, if affirmative action is to be simply replaced by completely disregarding someone's creed, race, religion, color, true equality would be delivered and would be acquired easily and simply, and we would not have these stereotypes about people that remain centuries or decades or centuries unchanged in a society. And this is why this house believes that affirmative action is ineffective, if not completely counterproductive, in reducing inequalities. Thank you.
Thank you.